every semester for about 5 semesters, I've been an adjunct professor at Spelman teaching a poverty and social justice class. For the last 18 months, I've been working as the Director of Community Engagement at Georgia Tech, and I specifically work with some of the most impoverished communities in Atlanta and in some states in Georgia. And so what I'm about to read to you is a post in process because I'm always thinking about, like, at the beginning of my class, how to do something different, what new book is out, how we're going to talk about it, how we're going to make connections. And, you know, this time I feel like I have a little something extra that I didn't have before, which is interesting because you'll find out that I'm kind of new to Beyonce. If there's any way that one can be new to Beyonce, it's me, and they'll tell you. Okay, so this is entitled Angels and Ghosts. Every day I walk or drive through historic black neighborhoods in Atlanta, Georgia, where upwards of 50% of residential properties are vacant, abandoned, and sometimes burned down, but not demolished. I see empty buildings that used to be schools, recreation centers, community centers, and businesses. I see extraordinary flooding every time it rains, rushing water nearly covering the street. Sidewalks are non-existent or so torn up you cannot walk on them. So folks move through the middle of the street, parents with strollers and people in wheelchairs. On weekdays, I see elementary, middle, and high school age youth sitting on porches at 11 in the morning. I see groups of black men standing around at all times of the day and night. I see elders waiting at bus stops with no benches or shelters. I see stray dogs. I see people struggling with disabilities. I see people struggling with addictions and other ailments. I see people waiting in long lines at food distribution sites. I see community people working to serve the needs of those in their community. Angels. Every day I see poverty with a backdrop of downtown wealth and power, and I constantly have to remind myself that smart people design predatory lending, mortgage fraud programs, and strategies to suppress wages and downsize entire industries. The college educated, working for corporate law firms and elite colleges and universities and top consulting firms, develop models to privatize the public sector and underfund schools, transit, hospitals, public services, public safety, prisons, and more. Our best and brightest dreamed up revitalization programs promising better, safer housing and then leveled affordable housing, displaced entire communities of color, and triggered the rash of school closings we are still dealing with currently. But these brilliant people are absent in poor communities and so rarely held to account. Ghosts. So I'm new to Beyonce in that I'm nearly 40, and this is the first time I've purchased one of her albums. Just like she's starting to look into feminism, I'm starting to look into her lyrics, visual presence, and platform. I think her new visual album is groundbreaking, and 2 videos in particular stick with me as I think about how poverty, power, and action are represented in media. As an academic, my platform does not compare to Beyonce's, so I think it's significant that she seems to be inviting her followers to focus their attention on her process. In the No Angel video, she is putting her body in places that matter to make them more visible, like Michelle Obama has been doing since 2008. No Angel opens with the sun rising on the Houston skyline and quickly cuts to a black community where the built structures are in the background such that substandard housing, deserted lots, and vacant properties inform but don't define the people in the video. She is making the familiar strange, telling the world that she sees what's happening in her hometown, Houston. No Angel is significant because it defies typical representations of black working class and low-income communities by foregrounding real people as subjects. Not just dancing, partying, pouring out liquor subjects, but daytime subjects with kids and interests. It's not about a glorification or judgment project. She is situating the people at the center of the narrative with a gender-conscious analysis, calling upon us to name the unnamed. You see glimpses of the backstage space of women's work and the remnants of violence showing through men's scars. There's a heavy feeling because the memorials, Parents who bury their children are not widows or orphans. We don't have a name for them because that might suggest normalcy. But she spotlights these subjects. She makes them visible to us. In the second video, Ghost, Beyonce simply asks, how come? She is signaling a move towards using her global platform to make global connections and to ask critical questions. Questioning record labels. Questioning why people are working 9 to 5 just to stay alive. 9 to 5 just to stay alive. 9 to 5 just to stay alive. She is raising resistance and action as an option by resisting traditional channels of releasing an album and publishing an essay in the Shriver Report. Like I said, I'm new to Beyonce, but I appreciate that there are points of entry that invite me to interrogate her work and that she is making visible what I'm seeing daily, angels and ghosts.